And this is a tip for chiropractic students. Like, don't be afraid to DM anyone that you look up to and just ask for advice. I've definitely picked up the phone and called practices near me and shadowed and traveled and done the same thing. And it goes a long way.
Hey, what's up, Smart Chiropractors? Welcome to Interviews by the Smart Chiropractor. I'm Dr. Jeff Langmaid here with my co-host, Dr. Jason Deitch. Today we have the opportunity to sit down with somebody that I feel like I've known for a long time, but I'm just meeting right now, Dr. Jenna Rabadi. Jenna, thanks for chatting with us today.
Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you guys.
It is our pleasure. So you came across my radar as somebody who is utilizing Instagram and social media to really build a niche. We were talking pre-roll. We know a lot of the same people in the pediatric and pregnancy space. But before we get to how you utilize social media today, I'd love to have you set a little bit of a foundation. What got you interested in pregnancy and pediatric care?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my father's a pediatrician, just retired. And for me, I was always in that field of medicine. And that's kind of how I dove into chiropractic and the preventative care side of things. And I just loved it. I always loved pediatrics, especially close to home. I have a younger sister who's has special needs and autism and epilepsy. So I always just, kind of tended towards her and her needs. And it's just a passion of mine and working with people with developmental delays and developmenting in stages of life. And I think it's such a beautiful thing to be a part of.
Hey, Doc, the money is in your list. If you're not utilizing weekly email newsletters to drive reactivations into your practice, you're missing out on a huge opportunity. To schedule a demo and see how we help hundreds of docs do this each and every week, go to thesmartchiropractor.com today. Again, that is thesmartchiropractor.com. Schedule a demo with our team. But right now, we'll get back into this awesome interview on Interviews by the Smart Chiropractor.
That's fantastic. I know we want to get into social media and all, but I can't let this rest.
Yeah.
Has your father been supportive? What has that been like? How has that evolved? What should we know about that experience?
Yeah, it's a great question. He's definitely supportive. It's interesting because I am the third of four kids. My older siblings are also medical doctors. And when I said I'm going to be a chiropractor, it was just a lot of questions, like what's it about, a lot of interest. But of course, I heard the negative comments of I've heard this, I've heard that. Not to say that those were his opinions, but he was just, playing devil's advocate. And it was interesting because I was learning as I was going as well. I think chiropractic has such a connotation to the outside world of professionals. And once you're in it, it's like a whole new light and it's beautiful to share that. And I think our generation is doing such a great job especially with social media, segueing that way into showing other people what we could offer and provide. And but other than that, he's been very supportive. I think also a personal experience for him with some TMJ and me being able to help him with that. Definitely a big fan.
Pain relief is a great motivator. Performance is optimal, but pain relief is a great motivator.
Exactly.
I can understand that. So let's talk a little bit about practice building. As a newer doc, I'm curious, as you were going through school and you were coming upon graduation, did you look towards social media and know that social media was an integral part of what you were going to do? Were you kind of turned off and have now fell into it because that's what you feel like you have to do? How did you think about this as you transitioned from student to new doc?
Well, it's a great question. I honestly never thought about it. I use it as like a stress relief, like an outlet where everyday activities, getting coffee, hiking, biking, I would just take a picture and post. And I think for me, that's how I kind of got a following. I was just engaging with other people, commenting, unknowingly doing it as a part of like, I'm tired of studying. Let me take a break and go on Instagram. And for me, I guess I was fortunate because I know the algorithm just changes constantly. Now I'm not doing such a great job at it in terms of utilizing it for the purpose of being a chiropractor and sharing that knowledge. I have a bunch of things that I want to get done and put out there. I just, I'm still kind of in that new job area where I'm getting my feet on the ground and trying to get into a rhythm. But I think it's such a great tool. I never really thought about it as this is what I'm going to be using for the purpose of getting patients in the door and this and that.
Jenna, would you share for those perhaps of older generations and so on, how you really think about these technologies? Most chiropractors may not necessarily understand, if you're not running paid advertisements, how you sort of get more new patients or attract a following. Uh, can you share your, how you think about it? Many will go,
Yeah,
What would a bike ride have to do with getting a patient in my office?" So how would you connect the dots for
exactly.
older generation chiropractors to understand how to connect those?
Exactly. I think it's like my experience to being a student, taking that question and all about relating. For me, again, I never thought about it and it was in my favor, but like just taking a photo of a coffee shop and other chiropractic students or chiropractors would see that and then want to go there. Like I was at a spa and I posted that, or I was on a bike ride. It's just something, a conversation starter. Oh, hey, nice bike, or where are you biking today? Where's your favorite cup of coffee? So things like that, I think, just kind of trigger a conversation and then, "Oh, I'm a chiropractic student, you're a chiropractor," and conversation can just blossom from that, and I think that's a beautiful thing. It's just genuine and natural. I'm not again, I said this before, I have a lot of things content I wanna get out, haven't gotten to it, but I think it's nice that I'm also not hyper focused on it because I don't want it just to be an educational boring page. I want to be natural and genuine and everyday life things, and I think I'm at a good point of transitioning into that, so
I think you're underselling yourself. I'm looking at the feed, and there's like feature adjusting pictures that are attention grabbers for sure. They look awesome. Do you find that prospective patients direct message you? Do you find people referencing that they have seen some things online? If you had to estimate, just out of sheer curiosity, what percentage of patients
right.
that you see do you feel like have either referenced, follow, or mentioned what you're up to online?
Honestly, quite a few. A percentage is hard to throw out there. I would say like 80%. And the reason for that is my business cards, my banner, anything I'm promoting. I have like these little index cards where I give out free treatments at community events, things of that nature. I'm always putting my Instagram handle on there to also get that following and traction and have a way of communicating. I also have an office number, obviously, where they can text me and email, but I think Instagram is just the way of the world now of finding new things, communicating with people, and it's just an easy app that we all use.
That is a significant percentage of your people that are following you, learning about you, getting to
Right.
know you. Oftentimes, like we said, in the very beginning here, you sort of meet somebody for the first time, but when you follow them, you feel like you know them. You've got a connection with them, and so
Right.
on. You've mentioned you've got a whole variety of things you're looking to do. We know how overwhelming it is to get started and hit the ground running and build a practice. What are you hoping to do in the next 12 to 24 months, knowing what you know, and as you start building this momentum?
So, right now, I love where I'm at. I'm the type of person that I have like a 5-year goal and a 10-year goal. And for me, I go with the flow in between, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. But wherever life takes me, I'm just very content where I'm at. And I know it's a slow process, like you said, for any new chiropractor starting out on their own. But I have great mentors, great advisors. And I think once you build like a good team. And again, I created all that from Instagram, just reaching out. And this is a tip for chiropractic students. Like, don't be afraid to DM anyone that you look up to and just ask for advice. So I've definitely picked up the phone and called practices near me and shadowed and traveled and done the same thing. And it goes a long way. And I think just having somebody at your, contact by your finger to ask a question is just super helpful. But totally going back to your question, I love where I'm practicing and I'm happy to be there for 100 years but who knows where life takes me, so
That is a fair answer. I'm gonna dig though. I'm gonna dig a little bit because I think I know where Jason was going. I'd love to have content. I'd love for you to share a little bit of behind the scenes on your thought process on the content ideas. So you mentioned
yeah,
some items where you're like, man, I want to get to this and I just haven't done it yet. How are you thinking about that? Is it more educational, more showing you with patients, more community events? What are those things that you kind of have on your agenda that you know you want to get out there and just
right.
haven't done yet?
A part of me is like, it's a secret, but it's not really. I'm not doing this. My community events are always out there. That's how I advertise it. My skills are up there. I put my degrees on there, what I can do at an adjustment, cupping, taping. It's all in the bio. But what I really want to get out there, the conversations I have in the office, things that come up all the time. I also have a degree in nutrition and dietetics. I'm very passionate about that. So I do plan to dive deeper into that realm. I'm all about longevity, preventative care. So how can you talk about, mobility and pain and not talk about the inside and what's going down your mouth? So for me, I talk about that with every patient. I also talk about mental health a lot. I look at the whole picture, and these are like the little things that I would love to get out there, like water intake, electrolytes. I'm big on magnesium, certain nutrients and ways to get it in your system, mental health tips, things of that nature, some
Cool.
educational posts.
Hey, it's Dr. Jason. I just want to take a brief moment and invite you to schedule a demo with our team to learn more about our patient pilot automated email campaigns. They are the smartest way to reactivate the people you've seen over the years in the past. Check it out, schedule a demo. We look forward to helping you help more people, piloting your patients back into your practice. Now back to our show. Right on. All right. Well, don't give any trade secrets that everybody else will be able to run. I'm just kidding. Um, what I'd love to know is, can you share? Obviously, we've got lots of people listening. We hope they get some valuable takeaways when they invest in listening to all of our interviews. And my question,
For sure.
if we're not going to give them the specific details, some of them just need the motivation to go, I really should be doing this. My question for you is,
But
can you speak to the difference between those people that haven't followed you and come to you as new patients and those people that have followed you, have watched what you've done, learned about you online first? How would you describe the difference in experience for you as a practitioner between those that come in and see you sort of as a stranger or a new doc they've never known before, and those that
right.
feel like they know you because they've been following you? How is that experience different for you? How is that experience different for them?
Honestly, I don't think it changes anything. I don't know. I think maybe because I'm just so used to using Instagram and I'm an open book and, they'll comment like, oh, I saw you do this. What is that good for? Or if I get a pregnant patient in, so I don't think I see them different. They see me different. I think it's just more of they know what I'm capable of providing for them to help them. And that's why I have all these things that I want to educate and content I want to put out there so that it can be more of, okay, I'm in pain. I'm at the chiropractor. What can we do?
That's what I'm just digging into a little bit is, when
Yeah.
somebody hasn't followed you and they may not be familiar with who you are and what you do, it would seem that they'd have a lot more questions than those people that have been following you and been going, "Oh, I know you
Yeah.
take care of kids. I know you're about nutrition." And you
Right.
can
Right.
you can almost you connect much faster and you can, help them sort of get it much faster. Is there
Right. Right.
do you see that at all as you reflect?
Yeah, absolutely. And I also notice patients will say, oh, you follow this person in the community. I'm so grateful. The community that I'm in is wonderful. Everybody is such a community based town and county. And I think that helps in my favor and the health, professional favor. But, if somebody's looking for a dentist or a yoga instructor or a prenatal masseuse or pelvic floor therapist. It's just a great way of connecting and, oh, this person, that person. And it builds a nice relationship with them. And yeah, they definitely ask a bunch of questions once they see it rather than them just coming in the office and not following me on Instagram.
Yeah, I think that's what we have seen time and time again is people come in more prepared, more understanding, and they're ready to take action. I love the point that you just brought up about the tie into the greater community and that they can see how connected you are, access your favorite
Right.
resources, your favorite providers is super awesome. I know we're going to be up against time, but I got one more question before we let you go. And that is as a younger doc that's going to influence the future of chiropractic, I'm going to throw a bazillion pound question at you right now. Where would
All
you like
right.
to see chiropractic go over the course of your career? What are you looking forward to? Where would you love to see the profession move to?
I would love to see the profession more holistic. And when I say holistic, I mean it in the terms, I guess, of holism, like looking at the body as a whole. I mean, but then at the same time, it's beautiful to have everybody have their own niche. You have the chiropractors that love to turn on the light or reset the nervous system, or somebody that just wants to rehab. So everyone has a different niche. I love pediatrics and pregnant women, and I see everybody. That's just my passion. But, it's a beautiful thing. And I think it's awesome if people, though, can just have these conversations, no matter what your niche is, in terms of how's your mental health? How is your diet? How much water are you taking in? How's the living environment at home for you? Are you stressed? What do you do to de-stress? Like, these are the types of questions that I love having, and I hear it day in and day out. Oh, I'm surprised you're asking me that. But, like, why not ask that? It's just because the general population of primary care physicians are not asking these questions and people are not used to it. Sometimes it gets uncomfortable, but, I'm only here to help. And obviously, if you're not comfortable, we don't talk about it. But I guess some people are just not used to that being asked. And I think that's a beautiful thing to start doing, is to look at every system in the body. How's your mental health? How's your heart? How's your gut and your diet? How's your mobility? Because it's all connected.
We could not agree more. That is one of Jason's tenets. We learn by asking questions. So we absolutely could not agree
Yes.
more. Jenna, thank you so much for taking time out of your day. For everybody listening and watching, we're going to drop links down below. So if you'd love to connect with, and please head over and follow Jenna. By the time this airs, you're going to see all of her great educational content, because we got a little while between recording right
Awesome.
now and when it airs. And Jenna, keep up the awesome work. Keep impacting lives. And thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us today.
Thank you, Jason and Jeff. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching this video on the Smart Chiropractor. To not miss a single thing that's clinically oriented, marketing oriented, or more, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel today.